Celtic Myths and Legends by T.W. Rolleston, Chapter 5, Tales of the Ultonian Cycle. His courtship of Emer. The young Cuchulainn was by this grown so fair and noble a youth that every maid or matron on whom he looked was bewitched by him. And the men of Ulster bade him to take a wife of his own, but none were pleasing to him, till at last he saw the lovely maiden, Emer, daughter of Forgal, the lord of Luska. Lusk is a village on the coast, a few miles north of Dublin. And he resolved to woo her for his bride, so he bade harness his chariot, and with Lag, his friend, and charioteer, he journeyed to Dún Forgal. As he drew near, the maiden was with her companions, daughters of the vassals of Forgal, and she was teaching them embroidery, for in that art she excelled all women. She had the 6 gifts of womanhood: the gift of beauty, the gift of voice, the gift of sweet speech, the gift of needlework, the gift of wisdom, and the gift of chastity. Now, let's not confuse chastity and virginity. Of course, in this case, they coincide. There's also the 6 virtues of dog rearing and the 6 virtues of, dog ownership, more like it, and 6 virtues of manhood, but I don't remember what they are this time. Hearing the thunders of horse hoofs and the clangor of the chariot from afar, she bade one of the maidens to go to the rampart of the Dún and tell her what she saw. "A chariot is coming on," said the maiden, "drawn by 2 steeds with tossing heads, fierce and powerful. One is gray, the other black. They breathe fire from their jaws, and the clods of turf they throw up behind them as they race are like a flock of birds that follow in their track. In the chariot is a dark, sad man, comeliest of the men of Erin. He is clad in a crimson cloak, with a brooch of gold, and on his back is a crimson shield, with a silver rim, wrought with figures of beasts. With him, as his charioteer, is a tall, slender, freckled man, with curling red hair, held by a fillet of bronze, with plates of gold at either side of his face. With a goad of red gold he urges the horses. When the chariot drew up, Emer went to meet Cuchulainn and saluted him, but when he urged his love upon her, she told him of the might and of the wiliness of her father, Forgal, and of the strength of the champions that guarded her, lest she should wed against his will. And when he pressed her more, she said, "I may not marry before my sister Fial, who is older than I. She is with me here. She is excellent in handiwork." "It is not Fial whom I love," said Cuchulainn. Then, as they were conversing, he saw the breast of the maiden over the bosom of her smock, and said to her, "Fair is this plain, the plain of noble yoke. None comes to this plain," said she, "who has not slain his hundreds, and thy deeds are still to do." So Cuchulainn then left her, and drove back to Emain Macha. And there are women out there like that, and sometimes they end up with leaders of gangs or generals or something. But that looks like